Whether it's strange events unfolding in subway tunnels, eerie exorcisms caught on camera, or people acting in a zombie-like state. These moments are truly beyond explanation. Let's dive into some of the most mysterious clips ever captured. The ones that were never meant to be seen.
Hey, you're gonna have to get out of the car, sir.
This is probably why you should always keep your vehicle locked, even if you're just stepping out for a moment. In Portland, a group of bystanders quickly intervened after seeing a homeless man who had entered a parked vehicle during a family gathering. The man, who was allegedly reported to have been seen attempting to hotwire the vehicle, which triggered an aggressive and quick response from the dads who were all around. The homeless man, in response, reacted quickly and intensely as one of them recorded every moment until the clip suddenly cut off as the camera was supposedly knocked away.
Wait.
Getting me up, lying down.
Terrifying man. A woman in Detroit was about to leave her car to go into a store when she noticed a strange man nearby. He stood in the parking lot, his body unnaturally bent backward, completely motionless, as if trapped in a trance. Moments later, he began swaying gently from side to side in an eerie rhythm. In the video's description, the woman mentioned she had no idea how long he had been standing there like that. Feeling unsettled and uneasy, she decided not to take any chances and drove to a different store instead, leaving the mysterious figure behind. Enclosed-in zombies. Residents of Panama City reported a very strange encounter involving mysterious humanoid figures. The clip dates to October 10th, 2025, where several zombie-state humanoids suddenly made an appearance at the entrance of a government office. Locals on the scene managed to clear out and block them in by placing chairs on the single entrance and exit spot. From their appearance, reactions, and overall behavior, it seemed clear that these figures were actually zombies, despite most viewers dismissing such a claim as unrealistic and instead linking the event to something paranormal. Weird subway man. Passengers on a subway in New York encountered a very weirdly behaving man. The man started crawling on the floor of a subway car while making snake-like sounds, startling passengers. The man was filmed in 2 different instances as he claimed to identify himself as a snake, causing discomfort and alarm among those nearby, prompting several people to move away and leave their seats. The bizarre incident, which occurred on April 7th, 2025, has left viewers puzzled as the man's identity remains unknown. Could this be some kind of publicity stunt, if not a demonic possession or mental breakdown? Paused pedestrians. While passing through the streets of Charlotte in front of the Truist Center, a passing visitor noticed random pedestrians on the street who looked to be behaving quite weirdly. They seemed to be behaving in a way as if they were in a sleeping mode, while at the same time, they were somehow managing to balance themselves and stand their ground despite the uncomfortable standing stance, acting almost like zombies. However, while it's commonly believed that this was due to the use of prohibited substances, that alone can't fully explain why or how an ordinary pedestrian appeared to be frozen in place. Subway spectacle. Passengers on the New York subway witnessed an unusual scene when a man dressed as a mouse climbed the station stairs with an object that looked like a giant slice of pizza in his mouth on October 16th, 2023. A video of the moment was shared on social media, leaving many viewers both amused and puzzled. Also showed another passenger jumping the stairs who wasn't amused by it. Some users on X, formerly Twitter, associated the act with Halloween, while others believed it was a playful critique of New York's persistent subway rodent issues, if not a kind of performance. Zombie acting woman.
No, I never seen that in my stuff. I don't want.
On August 2nd, 2018, tenants of a Florida apartment complex captured a strange and unusual encounter with a woman behaving erratically.
Are you on? Man, listen. Tell me what's wrong. No, it's just.
The woman randomly appeared just outside the apartment door and remained there for hours, getting increasingly dramatic, prompting several encounters and warnings from the tenants, who wanted her to go away. The cause of her actions was unclear, though one witness suggested she might have been under the influence of a forbidden substance.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she's not crazy. She's
Spinning dentures. As strange as it may seem, it's clear that this elderly woman was quite used to chewing gum regularly. A clip was taken by one of the subway passengers dating to January 18th, 2023, showed an elderly woman who was casually moving around her dentures in a playful manner. She kept on playing around with it till she reached her destination. Despite the cringy spectacle, the recorder maintained distance and decided to record to later share on social media. Defying gravity. Perhaps calling this a magic trick is the best way to go. A young South Korean tourist who left many of the bystanders in Ortica, Turkey, in surprise and awe by her manner of having completely defied gravity. The scene was filmed on November 7th, 2020. As she managed to gather the attention of a crowd who were not only amazed, but also curious as to looking for any sort of clues as to how she could have pulled it off. Roadside una bruja. On September 25th, 2025, the TikTok account PX Sawi shared a clip showing a startling figure appearing along a street in Bangkok, Thailand. It terrified drivers and passers-by on the road, not just due to its spooky nature, but as well as the behavior, though its dressing and structure was feminine, but looked nothing of the sorts. Local viewers and passers-by started to call this to be a potential una bruja sighting, a character known to exist only in fiction. Its purpose or intentions of making such an appearance out in the open in an urban area remain a mystery. Weird man on street. While moving down the streets of New York, a man had his path crossed with a troubled-looking stranger in the middle of the street. Although he was standing on his feet and was able to maintain balance but for reasons not known, he was unable to move or stand up upright on his feet. Could this be another case of the influence of the use of a prohibited substance? Or was this a case of a man turning into a zombie, which would explain the unexpected growling it made as the source got closer to investigate? Share your opinions in the comments. One-sided brawl. During a fair carnival in Sacramento, California, on the 29th of September 2023, the attendees' attention was caught by this weirdly behaving young man. He seemed to be very much involved in an intense brawl, much like a fight, though there was no one else around. The young man even looked like he was struck back to fall on the ground before recovering from it quickly. It gathered a crowd of curious watchers, while everyone maintained distance to avoid getting involved, as this most likely could have been a hallucination, or maybe he was actually trying to fight a demon, spirit, or an invisible man. Train hammock. A newcomer to New York City was rattled to see a homeless man sleeping in a hammock on a train during working hours from one support bar to another. So rattled by the unusual sight, he began recording it on his phone, where coincidental things kept on getting better and better. As two noisy young men boarded the train, it interrupted his sleep and triggered him to aggressively confront them while making a claim that the train was his own private property.
Yo, what y'all doing? It's my house, alright?
Airport meltdown. At Milan Malpensa Airport in Italy, travelers witnessed an unusual scene when a middle-aged woman had a public meltdown after staff weighed her hand luggage and found it was too heavy. The incident, which occurred on June 8, 2025, was captured on video and showed the Chinese tourist rolling on the floor, stamping her feet and pounding her fists in frustration as onlookers watched in disbelief. Staff had informed her that she needed to either pay an extra fee or remove some items from her suitcase, which triggered her dramatic reaction. Talk with the invisible. A waiter was working in a restaurant in Casablanca, Morocco, on a routine shift on August 23, 2024, when he noticed a lone customer who seemed to be engaged in a conversation, even though no one was sitting anywhere near him. It is unclear if the man was practicing speech here, hallucinating, or actually was talking to someone that only he can see. If there was actually someone sitting next to him, he certainly would have ordered food or refreshments, which further doubts the level of sanity here. Cosplay or actual zombie? Either this was someone who did a really good job at cosplaying and acting at the same time, or this could actually have been an imminent zombie disaster. A video clip from October 29, 2024, showed a moment where, at a public gathering in San Francisco, one of the attendees had his path crossed with an unusually tall humanoid that looked disturbingly like an actual zombie from appearance and natural body behavior. Now, even though everyone was convinced this wasn't a zombie, considering the place and the Halloween event, no one would see it coming, even if it were real, until it was too late. Crazy subway passenger. This clip was taken and uploaded by a Reddit user who was commuting on the subway on May 12, 2025, showing a crazy man who started going nuts. A grown man out of the blue got aggressive and started to toss around what looks like some kind of foam or cream all over the train and at other passengers while yelling all around.
All day long, get up out that depression, get up out that sad.
If you have read The Room after seeing this, it is clear that this guy was far from normal, forcing passengers to maintain distance and even get off the train prematurely just to avoid running into any serious trouble.
You gotta wait! Ah!
Actively possessed girl. A lone young woman was traveling through the subway somewhere in Philadelphia on August 17, 2023, when she spotted something quite terrifying. It was a girl much younger who remained completely stationary in a single position that gave her out, along with her eyes that were completely black and seemed to be staring at a single point, from the quiet demeanor to having a spooky appearance. It clearly looked to be a case that this girl may have been either completely possessed by a demon or was in a trance state. Grown baby. On April 27, 2025, a Twitter user on his way home from work captured a bizarre scene on a New York City subway. A grown man was seen dragging a baby crib onto the train, climbing inside, removing his shoes, and settling in for a nap as stunned passengers looked on. The man did it with such confidence, as if this wasn't his first time pulling such a stunt while pretending to own the subway, which is actually a public place. Another stuck in trance.
Damn, cuz.
A local from New York was heading to the subway station, where, on the way, noticed this case of a man completely stuck in a trance. despite the weird posture and state of condition, was still conscious enough to remain balanced on his feet. The local added that this almost seemed like the man was stuck in a trance with a flip of a switch, and could also be brought back just as easily. That is, if he hadn't already turned into a zombie that was in an inactive state.
Oh, what the wrong with you, cousin?
Terrifying demon girl. On 11th May 2023, two young men in Aomori, Japan, were passing on the street through a residential area when they encountered something they initially thought of as an average young woman. In moments' notice, it detected them, which is when things took a creepy turn. She started rushing towards them with a clear, hostile intent, sending them both fleeing. By the physical nature and behavior, she was identified by many to be a figure called Kuchisaki Onna, an urban legend thought to exist only in comics, though she was mostly known as a case of a possessed woman. Patient in crisis. A leaked video from a staff member at a health facility in an undisclosed town in central Mexico showed a patient. The video depicted a young woman whose condition was rapidly deteriorating, with movements and reactions suggesting she was not herself. The clip was recorded to monitor the patient's overall health and well-being, helping track her condition and ensure she receives the care she needs. Though there are no signs of her being taken over by a spirit or demon, but at the same time, it is also a very possible case. Troubled woman cornered. In a residential district of Facatativa, Colombia, a neighbor and bystanders on the road gather after hearing screams and growls coming from the hotel rooms. These sounds were a result of an active exorcism that was being carried out, where two police officers had to arrive on the scene to address the issue. Similar to another instance, passengers from the subway in New York City corner a woman who looked to be under the influence of a demonic entity. One of the elderly passengers turned out to be a retired priest who was allegedly performing an exorcism on the spot to help free the woman. Bum on loose. From the window on the first floor of the building in Toledo, Ohio, a man was behaving quite weirdly and randomly. Now, many would be convinced that this man mentally ill, if not hallucinating, as he was seen reacting intensely as if it were in a confrontation. However, the recorder, who isn't exactly sure but felt that he had seen movement and backlash as if there was an invisible silhouette of a person or a ghost that the man may have been confronting here. After going around all over the parking lot, the man finally walked away casually. Dramatic dodge. Back in December 2022, a video from Waffle House in Los Angeles started to get viral soon after a heated argument. The clip showed one of the employees catching a chair that was thrown at her by one of the customers mid-air, from the point of grabbing the chair to immediately tossing it away at the same time without even flinching a bit. This impressed many of the viewers and bystanders, some of whom even started to speculate if the woman had super strength, if not a frequently occurring practice. Subway being. A traveling subway passenger in New Jersey had his attention captivated for several minutes by this weird figure. As much as anyone would like to believe that this was a costumed individual, the vibe of the behavior and occasional growl with little to no eye contact and consistent restlessness are further indicators that often gave the thought that it could be a being of some kind, when it actually couldn't have been a normal but very talented human being in a costume. Creepy sister.
Lexi. Hey.
This clip was recorded by a young woman in Virginia on October 1st, 2025, showing what she shared that her sister had been behaving unlike herself. She was sleepwalking all around the house, but only this time, late at night, she walked up to the young woman who was recording and kept staring at her for several minutes straight.
Stop staring at me like that. Alexis!
With her eyes wide open and her behavior completely out of character, it seemed as though the girl was possessed by a demonic or supernatural entity. However, what looked like a very intense and creepy stare was finally diffused as their mother stepped in.
Hey, go lay down.
Paranormal levitation. This video is considered one of the creepiest ever captured, so viewer discretion is advised. It shows a group of priests gathered around a young girl believed to be possessed by a demonic force. As they began reciting prayers in an attempt to free her from the entity, the atmosphere grew tense. Suddenly, the chair she was sitting on moved several inches by itself, causing the priests to panic and rush out of the room. Moments later, the girl let out a piercing scream, lifted into the air, and then collapsed to the floor. After a short while, she regained consciousness, and it appeared that the dark presence had finally left her body. Creepy woman silhouette. On the streets of Guatemala City, a little after midnight on January 25th, 2025, this creepy woman of unknown nature appeared. The source who filmed her shared that after hearing mysterious howls that woke him up and got him to investigate, only to find this silhouette, he started recording it. He filmed a strange and creepy woman from his balcony. She danced and walked strangely in the middle of the night, all alone. It is unclear if this was a woman or something like a spirit or supernatural entity that was making a physical appearance, and it wanted to be seen. Clown in subway.
I try finding a way to escape the subway or this killer clown is definitely going to kill me.
Despite it being a public place, this young TikTok user found himself being followed by a clown. The incident that was recorded on the 18th of November 2020, showing the moment not long after he took a subway train. A bizarre clown appeared. Just as he attempted to escape, it followed him regardless. With none of the bystanders having even taken a glimpse of the clown, proves that only he could see it coming.
Starting to lose hope as no one else on this subway can see the killer clown except for me.
However, he reported having disappeared just as soon as he got off the platform. Could it be that just the platform was haunted? Exiting jinn influence. A terrifying incident was recorded in Azerbaijan when a girl appeared to be possessed by a spirit. Her friends called a religious figure to help free her from the entity. He spoke with the girl and asked her to recite some words in Arabic. Suddenly, she began behaving strangely. Her eyes glowed and she opened her mouth wide, letting out a horrifying scream before collapsing unconscious. After a while, she regained consciousness, and when asked about her experience, she astonishingly remembered nothing. Following the event, she reportedly did not encounter any further supernatural occurrences. Bizarre pedestrian behavior. An Uber driver in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, while making a stop, encountered something quite bizarre. Clip from 4th May 2025 shows a man walking in a quite weird manner on the pavement that he almost seemed to look like he was running after, possibly snatching from someone, though only seemed to be walking by. Within less than a moment, this figure started walking like a normal person, while another pedestrian came across. Unstable celebrity? Back in October 2024, a clip of Hollywood celebrity Cara Delevingne started to go viral after she was seen not being herself in an unofficial encounter. She was seen arriving for a departing flight 2 hours late, only to get off the plane and head back home. After reaching home, she loved to be moving in a very random and weird manner, as if she were unstable and jittery. Since she claimed to be sober, the possibility of her taking any illegal substance was ruled out, leaving this to be an influence of something paranormal, or perhaps she was hallucinating. Haunting pursuit. Late one night, two girls were returning home from a party when they encountered a strange, motionless figure standing on the street. Curious and uneasy, they began recording the scene on their phones. As they neared their home, they noticed the same eerie figure again, this time following them. Panicked, they ran inside and locked every door. But the presence seemed to manifest in multiple places at once. Realizing it wasn't a normal person,
Buenas noches. Be the way.
they locked themselves inside the house, where things started to take a dramatic turn. They then locked themselves in the bathroom, calling for help. As a friend arrived, strange events unfolded. Glass flew off a table, furniture moved on its own, doors slammed shut, and one of the girls vanished briefly. Now, what exactly happened here is unknown, and by seeing these clips, you can be the judge. Crawling on all fours. In Italy, a family was startled late one night after receiving motion alerts from their home security system. When they checked the footage, they were horrified to see a woman crawling into their property. Though she appeared human, her movements were unsettlingly animal-like, as if she were searching for something. The family, unsure whether she was a disturbed individual or something far more sinister, chose not to confront her and instead watched the live feed in fear. After several tense minutes, the mysterious figure eventually crawled away, leaving only questions and unease behind. Shadowy figure. On August 30th, 2025, a local from Lahore, Pakistan, was crossing the road through an overpass when he noticed a figure that was slowly moving clearlessly in the middle of a busy road. He was surprised to see that all the passing vehicles managed to pass right through without hitting him, convincing him that this was some ghost of a spirit or a soul that was casually moving and somehow got caught on his camera, as none of the drivers were able to see since they weren't halting or attempting to dodge. Demoniacal man. In Polotsk, Belarus, a man decided to clean his pool out of boredom, unaware that he was about to experience something truly disturbing. As he scrubbed the water with a cleaning stick, he suddenly froze in place, appearing completely motionless. Moments later, a dark shadow seemed to pass into his body, and his behavior turned strange. His eyes lifted upward, and his movements became unnatural. His daughter rushed over, urging him to come inside, but he refused and began crawling across the ground instead. The eerie footage quickly went viral, leaving viewers unsettled and full of questions, as no one knows what became of the man afterward. Thug in train.
Stop it. Stop it.
One of the passengers who was using the New York City subway on January 2nd, 2025, was an aggressive thug who randomly started to bully people all around. He was described as either insane or enraged for reasons unknown while he was moving around the area, punching into the personal space of almost any nearby person. With no police officers around to defuse the situation, no one dared to step in or say anything for fear of escalating the situation and compromising safety. While some passengers decided to distance themselves by moving to the other carriages, others got off the subway before reaching their destination. Creepy chasing man. A driver in Texas shared a chilling experience from a late-night drive. After making a turn, he suddenly felt something scrape against his car. When he stopped to check, nothing appeared in his side mirrors. Moments later, he spotted a man running toward his vehicle, holding something tightly in his hand. The man's face looked distorted, or perhaps hidden behind a mask. His motives remained a mystery, and viewers were left guessing what might have happened next, as the video abruptly ended before revealing anything more. Swaying woman. A farmer captured a chilling moment in his fields near a village close to Kuala Lumpur. Late at night, while watering his crops, he noticed something eerie swaying on a swing in the middle of the field. It had glowing eyes, messy hair, and wore a long white dress, resembling a witch. The figure climbed down from the swing, sat strangely on the ground, then began doing pull-ups from a tree branch. Terrified yet curious, the farmer cautiously approached, only to see it vanish within seconds. He hurried home, deeply shaken, and to this day, the mysterious sight continues to haunt him whenever he visits the fields at night. Complete demon takeover. What would you do if you came across something like this in the dead of night? A man somewhere in Johannesburg, South Africa, encountered a horrifying figure near an old, abandoned hospital. At first, he felt an odd pull toward it, as though he were trapped in a trance. The creature had long black hair, pale skin, and eerie eyes, but its unnaturally wide grin was the most disturbing feature. After a moment, he broke free from the trance and realized how close he had gotten. He began recording while slowly backing away, and even from a distance, the figure's eyes never stopped following him. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another wow video. Until then, you can check out these other videos for a wow dose of entertainment and knowledge.